Hi, I'm Sebastien Couture of the Epicenter podcast. I'm here in Basel, Switzerland for the very first edition of the Hyperledger Global Forum. It was a 4-day event organized by the Linux Foundation that gathered over 700 participants, from startups to developers and enterprise, all building applications on the technologies in the Hyperledger greenhouse. So while I was at the event, I had the opportunity to speak with community members, learn about what they're building, and how they're contributing to the tools and technologies in the Hyperledger family. Here's my conversation with Leanne Kemp, founder and CEO of Everledger.
My name's Leanne Kemp. I'm the founder and CEO of Everledger. We began in the heart of London in 2015, built a platform of provenance to track gems, metals and minerals from the source of the mine right the way through to the market. The diamond industry is about 500 years in the making, and through the better part of the last 100 years, the dynamics of industry pretty much hasn't changed. But within the last 10 years, there's been an incredible amount of new world challenges that are all colliding within the same time frame. Synthetic diamonds or man-made diamonds are now being created within laboratories around the world that are gem quality standards. So a trained gemologist through the naked eye or a diamond expert are not able to easily tell a difference between a well-manufactured man-made diamond and a natural stone. We have double financing of the pipeline, fraud, consumers asking where their diamonds come from, and there are probably about 10 different challenges that are all coming into the industry at the same time. Distributed ledgers and blockchain technology at its core is a network enablement that will be able to provide a new rails upon which diamonds and associated data around diamonds can be aggregated so that the industry can provide a layer of trust, a transparency to show more about the transaction, the truth, and the identity of the diamond. Global trade is critical in its most abstracted form. Global trade provides for the economic sequencing so that communities can survive and countries can thrive. Now, global trade can only really be advanced if there is some form of knowledge of standards or harmonisation across regions. When we start to think about technologies like distributed ledgers and data models that will enable a synthesis of trade, then standards becomes the sinew that makes the limbs of the creature move. Without that connective tissue of standards, without the connective tissue of a data model that provides for interoperability, then you've actually got separated limbs. So the arm is separated from the torso, is separated from the legs. If you're able to bring that together in a harmonization sequencing with trust, but also provide for privacy sharing mechanisms. So it's not all about transparency. We're not bearing all naked to the world. We're providing, or the technology enables us to provide a network upon which participants are known and transaction and trade flows with trust. So we have been building on Hyperledger since day one. It was the right choice that we made. I think the community upon which Hyperledger is built around and upon is an incredibly important foundation. It's clear that the talent that's been attracted to the Hyperledger community is A-class. We have successfully deployed out into production since day one on all of the iterations that have been released in market. So we also have an incredibly close relationship with IBM and IBM Fabric, and the release that's in market today is built on the IBM Fabric network. Our engineers gather around the community and see and understand the features that are within 1.3 and know that that is really the muscle that we need to be able to go beyond just the B2B model that we had this year to now B2B to C, out to the consumers, which now we have diamonds sitting in retail networks where someone can walk in and see where the diamond comes from. So Everledger, we're 75 people strong and 50 engineers, and we're building a network, a consortium that comes together around the industry to be able to provide trust. The Hyperledger community enables reach. reach that we would never be able to form ourselves, and a muscle strength within the community where we can bring together people that have had deep technical experience with Kubernetes and combine that with our engineering team to be able to solve the problems fast. Everledger was first to market, no doubt. But with Hyperledger and the Hyperledger community, we know we could be first to scale.